Mr. President, I joined my colleagues this morning on the Senate floor in an effort to wake up the United States Senate to the fact that without action by this body, and specifically the Banking Committee, members are literally supporting shipping jobs overseas. I believe in a manufacturing economy. I believe in a manufacturing economy because so many people in the state of Washington work in manufacturing, and because aerospace is an industry in which the United States is still a world leader. But yet we are, by not filling the board of a credit agency, putting it out of business in making sure that it can ensue credit for manufactured U.S. products to be sold in overseas markets. Why is manufacturing so important? Manufacturing is important because it pays a decent wage. It allows American workers to go from working class to middle class. It helps secure jobs in our economy that are stable for families to send their kids to school, to help people move up into a better quality of life. And so I'm competitive in general. I don't want to lose a manufacturing base, but I also don't want to lose a middle class. And what's happened as we have tried to thwart here with conservative views of the Heritage Foundation, the Export-Import Bank, is U.S. manufacturers have decided to put their manufacturing overseas. Think about it. How long is a company or a business going to put up with the fact that they don't have a credit agency here in the United States? Now, can a business that is a big manufacturer get its own credit? Sure it can. Sure, they can go and get credit. But if you are asking them to sell on a global market, I'll give you an example of a manufacturer in our state, Scafco, which sells manufactured grain silos to many countries in South America, in Africa, in Asia, and all across the world. So do you think they're going to finance every single deal that they do? No, because they have to put money into their manufacturing facilities so they can stay competitive, so that they can have the best silos being produced. So if they limited their business to only deals that they could finance, they'd have very limited business. Think about it. Who do we make that requirement of? It's the customer who is buying that needs to get credit. It's the customer that is out there that wants to purchase what is great U.S. product that is having trouble. And think about it. You're a small African nation trying to change your economy into agriculture, or you're a small Asian country that is trying to upgrade your quality of life. It could be, just as Prime Minister Modi said yesterday, it could be that they want to diversify their energy portfolio. Well, guess what? We're holding that up and not allowing all of those countries to buy U.S. products simply because we refuse to have a working board at the Export Credit Agency. And how ludicrous is that? It's so ludicrous because what happens is a U.S. manufacturer, for example, say aerospace manufacturer like Boeing, they would love to buy GE engines and make sure that, say, a South American country purchases Boeing and GE engines. Well, they can go and purchase Rolls-Royce engines, and the European Credit Agency can fund the deal. Now what's happened? GE has lost out on deals. Do you think all these U.S. manufacturers are going to stay in the United States as if there isn't a way to have credit financing? No, they're going to go where credit financing exists. So by not moving forward on a full functioning export credit agency in the United States, all you're doing is helping to ship jobs overseas. It's got to stop. We make great products in the United States. We are competitive. Our workforce is skilled. I'll be the first to say we need to skill it more, and I'm all for educating and skilling our workforce with every resource our country has, because that innovation is our competitive advantage. But if we make great products, but then we hamstring the financing of those great products because developing countries don't have the same banking and financial tools that we have in the United States, you're basically saying we're not going to sell product. So I am a big proponent of winning in the international marketplace. I'm a big proponent of saying the middle class is growing around the globe, and one of the United States' biggest economic opportunities is to sell product outside the United States, as that rise in the middle class means they can purchase more U.S. products. Well, they can't if we don't have a credit agency that finances it. So why are we down here this morning as it relates to, the defense bill that's being discussed? Well, we're here because there are more than 10 million deals and transactions in the export-import pipeline. That is to say that $10 billion of deals that are in the Export-Import Bank. Yesterday, Prime Minister Modi was here. The Indian government has announced that Westinghouse could finalize contracts with nuclear power corporations to India. Well, those deals won't get done if you don't have an export credit agency to do those deals. And the U.S. is considering right now in the Senate the National Defense Authorization Act. And last month, the Aerospace Industry Association and the National Defense Association wrote letters to our leadership here in the Senate urging them to make sure that we had a functioning bank. They pointed out that without a quorum, multi-million-dollar exports of aircraft, satellite, other things also won't get done. So we just had this little argument on the Senate floor about how we're going to pay for things in the defense bill and whether we're going to have balance with our other domestic spending. By not supporting and moving forward on the export credit agency, you are also making defense in the United States more expensive. You are making our security more expensive because you're not allowing that same technology that we have decided meets our export controls, but we are willing, because these are partners of ours, to sell that defense. You're making that difficult. So I'd like to enter into the record this letter from the aerospace industry and the national defense industry basically saying that you are making it more expensive for us to do business as a country in defense because you also won't allow for the export of this product.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I think, Mr. President, I'm here with my colleague from North Dakota because we feel passionately about this issue. We are frustrated with the shenanigans that has gone on with the Export Credit Agency. I say shenanigans because, for a long time people said, oh, well, there's not the votes. We can't get this done. We don't have the votes. Well, when you lifted the veil behind some very, conservative, threatening tactics, there were the majority in both the United States Senate and the House of Representatives support for this export credit agency. And now, because one committee is trying to bottle up a nominee, if he doesn't like the nominee, come up with a different name. If he doesn't like, come up with two names. Who cares? But what really is happening is that those on the other side of the aisle are enabling one individual to thwart the biggest manufacturing economic opportunity that our country has to secure manufacturing jobs in the United States of America. Let's build great products. Let's have a credit agency that can finance deals to developing nations. And let's get those countries buying U.S. product. Why on earth are we continuing this shenanigans all so somebody can say to the Heritage Foundation, I got you one more trophy for your shelf? That is not what America is about. America is about competing and succeeding and growing economic opportunity. And I want to thank my colleague from North Dakota for her leadership on the Banking Committee and trying to move this effort forward, and all my colleagues who care about manufacturing, who are willing to come down to the floor and make this point. Time is running out for this session for us before the summer recess to get this done. It is time to get it done.